Manchester United are back in Premier League action this weekend against Tottenham Hotspur, and in my opinion, Erik Ten Hag needs two main things this weekend. Of course, as always, he needs a result. He needs 3 points. Manchester United are absolutely desperate for that. But I also think a consistent performance is crucial in this game, because United are a bit up and down at the moment. We play well for a half against Crystal Palace, but are then poor in the second half, then poor in midweek. We need a result, but also a performance, and the best way to achieve that is to set up in the correct way and pick a strong starting 11. So I thought this week, as we couldn't stream and discuss it, I would go through it in a video, my starting 11 for this game. So let's get straight into it, let's get to the pitch and start with what for me the positions that pick themselves, the deeper areas. In goal, it's Andre Onana. No surprise there. He is our first choice goalkeeper. He will play this game. He's been in good form recently. I think his play out from the back has been really useful, and his shot stopping, generally speaking, has been really good. A phenomenal penalty save, but also the double save as well the other week. Midweek, it's a little bit questionable on the goal. He moves too early for me, but Onana's going to play. There is no question there. It's the same at fullback as well. There is no discussion here. We have 2 fullbacks available. One can play on the left at the moment. One's playing on the right at the moment. Dalot will be left back. Mazraoui will be right back. And I think that's a brilliant position for Manchester United to be in. Those 2 players are incredibly strong. They're playing very well at the start of the season. Technically, they bring a lot to this team. I think generally speaking, midweek aside, our defence has been improved in recent weeks. So I think you stick with those 2 at fullback. Centre-back, again, is relatively straightforward, I'll be honest with you. The left centre-back will be Lisandro Martinez. I think if he is fit, Erik Ten Hag will always pick him. I don't think there is much question there. The fact that he's left-footed is useful to our team dynamic, playing down the left-hand side, but also just the fact that on the ball, he is one of our most technically gifted players, and certainly one of our most progressive defenders. So Lisandro Martinez has to play at left centre-back. The question is, who do you put alongside him? Who do you partner with him? Again, it's pretty easy. It's De Ligt, right? He's been good in recent weeks. Him and Lisandro Martinez have been forming some sort of partnership between the 2 of them. They look good together. They look comfortable. They're both comfortable on the ball, but also being aggressive defensively. And I also think in this game, the fact that Tottenham are weak on set pieces and De Ligt looks a massive threat there, he is a must start in this game. That is somewhere where United could really capitalise. Look out for De Ligt on set pieces. As we move into the midfield, I think we have some more questions start to pop up, because this is probably where currently we have the most options. Casemiro could play, Ugarte could play, Eriksen could play, Mount could play, Kobbie Mainoo could play, Toby Collier could play, and Bruno Fernandes. There are plenty of options in this midfield position. Where do you start? For me, it's with the undroppable player, the player who had a break in midweek, Kobbie Mainoo. For me, he absolutely has to start this game. I know people have certain concerns about his physicality at the moment, but against the Spurs side, which won't pack the midfield with physical players, I think Kobbie Mainoo is a must-start player. I don't think we have anything like him in the squad. The way that he understands to slow the game down, I think is really important for United, and probably something that we lacked at times in midweek. We were too direct. Kobbie changes that. Sometimes it can be frustrating because it almost seems like he takes too many touches, but I actually think that's what this United team needs. Someone who slows it down a little bit, but of course also has all that wonderful ability going forward, that ability to carry a ball through a team. His press resistance could be really crucial in this game against a Spurs side that will apply pressure high up the pitch. Kobbie Mainoo has to play, no questions there. I think the other 2 midfield positions are a little bit more debatable. There is more discussion to be had there, starting off with that kind of deeper player next to Kobbie Mainoo. Who do you go for? In recent weeks, it's been Christian Eriksen, and he has played well. But can he really start a 5th game in a row in less than 2 weeks? Quite simply, I don't think he can. I think he needs to come out of the team. Now we have 2 options. We have Casemiro and we have Ugarte. I would be lying if I sat here and said I want Casemiro to start this game. I don't want to see that, no offence to him. For me, Ugarte is the one to come into the team. I think people are overreacting to his performance in midweek. I don't think he played that badly at all. Was it perfect? No, but he's still getting up to speed. The only way he is going to get up to speed and settle into a new system and understand a new dynamic is actually by playing football matches. That's what we signed him for. I would put Ugarte into the team for this game. Again, I think his ball retention could be quite useful, because I think against Spurs, a team who themselves are a bit too forward thinking at times, I think this game could be quite chaotic. I think defensively, therefore, Ugarte could be really useful for us. His ability to cover ground, put out fires, make tackles, etc. But also, hopefully his ability at times to slow the game down a little bit. Again, alongside Kobbie Mainoo, the 2 of them, both being players that do like an extra touch to set themselves before passing. That might actually be a nice dynamic in the sense that hopefully it naturally slows United down a little bit, and by having Ugarte in midfield, Dalot can invert with him, and then Kobbie Mainoo can be given that licence to roam a little bit, to be a sort of connecting, linking player between the lines. I think that's exactly what we need. Then it's that other midfield position, and normally there isn't a conversation to be had here. Normally it's Bruno Fernandes. We don't even think twice about it. He always plays. But at the moment, he's not delivering. Bruno Fernandes is not delivering the goods for United at the moment. Now, in part, I think that is because he is playing a new tactical role. He's playing a bit more towards the right-hand side. It's a bit more of a fixed, structured position for him, if you like. It requires a bit more discipline for him. He's used to roaming about and doing what he wants. This is different, and therefore he should be given time to adapt. We shouldn't be too critical. However, at the same time, he hasn't been good enough in the past couple of games. In midweek, he didn't bring enough intensity. And that isn't really good enough. I would seriously consider bringing Mason Mount in for this game from the start. I think the pressing intensity he would bring is crucial to what United need to do in this game. That is squeezing high up the pitch. Mason Mount would be perfect for that. I think also his ability to protect the ball and kind of withstand a bit of physical pressure from the opponent could be useful. The fact that he does the basics really well, I think is something that United would need. However, because of a change that I'm going to make to the team slightly further up the pitch, for now I am going to go with Bruno Fernandes. I definitely could be swayed on that though. I'm going to go with Bruno, but he needs to perform. That now brings us on to the front three, where ultimately we have 3 players to go into 2 positions on the wings. Between the left wing and the right wing, we need Rashford, Amad and Garnacho. We can pick 2 of them. We'll start on the right hand side. For me at the moment, in terms of right wing, Amad is our best option. Garnacho is definitely someone that could play there, but I think against Udogie at fullback for Spurs, someone who is quite a physical defender, and also Van de Ven on that side of defence as well, I think Garnacho would struggle. Garnacho is a player who relies on creating separation from an opposition player. I think physically he would struggle to do that against these guys, whereas Amad is actually a player who likes to play close to people. So I think this game will suit Amad more on the right hand side of the attack. I think he's been one of our better attackers. Because he isn't getting goals and assists, people aren't necessarily noticing it, but I think he's playing pretty well. And I think defensively he's important for us. The big conversation is on the left wing. Marcus Rashford or Garnacho. Now this isn't an argument of who's better, who do you prefer. This is a case of tactical fit. Who is going to suit this game better for Manchester United? So what do United need is the first question. First of all, we need a transition threat. This could be an open game at times. We know Spurs leave a lot of room behind their fullbacks when you counter-attack. So we need someone that can attack that space. I think also though, we do need someone who defensively can do a lot of work. United had a problem in midweek where, because they couldn't control the game off the ball, they had no chance of controlling the game on the ball. So step 1 for Ten Hag in this game has to be to get the defensive approach right. And if we're looking at Marcus Rashford and we're looking at Garnacho, Garnacho is the better player defensively. He presses with a greater intensity. I'm not saying, in terms of intelligence, he's the best presser in the world. He's not. But he does have a greater intensity to his defensive work. And I think in terms of trying to gain control in the first half of the match, I think that's going to be important. So I would go for Garnacho in this game. Now some people might criticise me for that, because normally I would suggest he's better off the bench as an impact player. But tactically, I think this game actually suits him from the left-hand side. Then the final question is up front. Xerxes or Marcus Rashford? I think Højlund is probably a little bit too early still. Hopefully by next weekend we might be able to see him. Still too early for now. Xerxes or Rashford? Which one do you bring into the starting 11 for this game? There's the option of going for the pace. Marcus Rashford, that ability to get in behind the defence, again the transition threat. However, against Van de Ven and Romero, I don't know if pace is the best way to go, because those two physically are very good players. They can cover ground well, they're strong in the duel, their acceleration is incredible. I wonder if you go for a more technical approach with someone like Xerxes coming towards the ball, providing us a little bit of creativity alongside Bruno Fernandes, creating chances for someone like Garnacho. I think that is what I would do. I think also, again, if we're looking at the defensive side of the game, bringing an intensity, I think Xerxes is the better pressing player than Marcus Rashford currently. So I think that would be my 11. Onana in goal, Dalot on the left, Lisandro Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui, Kobbie Mainoo, Ugarte, although I would probably swap those two over, so they're playing on the other side. Garnacho on the left, Amad on the right, Bruno in the 10, but again, still moving towards the right-hand side, and then Xerxes up front. That would be my starting 11 for this game. I think it gives United the best chance of getting all 3 points, and I think subs will be massive. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments down below. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.